Have you ever been so focused on fixing everything around you? The relationships, the household, the job, the kids, the friendships that you forgot to look at yourself? I mean, like really look at yourself. Not the I need to lose weight look, not the I need to do better guilt spiral. I mean, actually standing in front of yourself and asking, who is this woman and what does she need? That is where we're starting today. Hey, self care warriors, welcome back to Hold My Purse, the space where we put down what was never ours to carry and come back home to ourselves. I'm Ro, and I am so glad you're here, and I feel so grateful that you've taken the time to tune in. If you're new, pull up a seat because we don't fake peace around here. We don't do toxic positivity. We do real conversations, honest reflection, and we give each other permission to excel. So excel right now. Seriously. Seriously, take a breath. Let's get into it. All right. So the Michael Jackson biopic has been in theaters for over a month now, and people have been in their feelings ever since. And I believe his downloads are up. It is just as a Michael Jackson fan, it is wonderful to see the resurgence of love and appreciation for his craft. Now, I'll be real with you. The movie covers Michael's early life, his rise, the Jackson 5, the pressure, the brilliance. It doesn't go all the way through his full catalog, but that's not actually what I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about is Michael Jackson, the man, the icon, the person who carried an enormous amount of weight, the weight of fame, family pressure, not being allowed to just be a kid. Could you imagine not going outside to play and getting beatings? Seriously. And still, through all of that, wrote songs that asked people to do better. Now, two songs in particular really have always stayed with me as it relates to his catalog, and that's Man in the Mirror and Heal the World. And here's what hit me when I was thinking about this episode. Both of those songs start in the same place. They start with you. They start with the internal work before the external change. Man in the Mirror literally says, if you want to make a difference, start with the person looking back at you. And I thought to myself, that's the episode. That's the conversation, because how many of us are trying to heal everything around us without ever stopping to look at ourselves? So today we're talking about what happens when you finally stop running from your own reflection, when you look at yourself, not to criticize, not to fix, but to really see who's standing there. And here's your journal prompt for this episode, because I believe that when you journal as you listen, it allows the conversation to kind of sink in. So grab your journal if you got it and write down this prompt and let it sit with you as we talk. What have I been avoiding seeing in myself? And what do I think will happen if I finally look? Don't rush the answer. Just let it live with you while we move through this conversation. All right, let's get into it. All right, so here's something that I've noticed, and maybe you've noticed it too. Are we're excellent at self reflection about other people. We will sit with our girlfriends, break down somebody else's patterns. We'll say, girl, she keeps choosing the same type of man, or she needs some therapy, or she's people pleasing because of her childhood. We see it so clearly when it's somebody else. But the moment it is us, suddenly we're too busy. The mirror doesn't go away just because you stop looking at it. It's still there. And everything you've been avoiding seeing is showing up in your relationships, in your patterns, in the way you overextend and then retreat, in the way you say yes when your whole body is screaming no, in the way you keep waiting for someone else to change before your life gets better, or the way you wait for situations to change before your life gets better. I mean, Michael wrote Man in the Mirror, I believe around 1988. He was at the absolute peak of fame. He had everything the world said you were supposed to want. And what did he write about? He wrote about looking inward, about the real change starting inside. The man, when I tell you, that man was on to something. Now, let's talk about the first truth today. And that's this: you cannot change what you refuse to look at. Now, I know that sounds simple, right? But come on, stay with me, because a lot of us are walking around in patterns we know aren't working. We know we keep overgiving. We know we dim ourselves down in certain relationships, in situations. We know we've been putting our dreams on the back burner for years. We know this, but knowing and looking are very different things. Knowing is when you have a vague awareness that something isn't right. But looking is when you stop, you sit down, you get honest, and you ask, how did I get here? What part did I play in this? What belief have I been living from that kept me in this cycle? The mirror moment. And it's uncomfortable, I know. And I'm not going to pretend it's not. But here's what's on the other side of that discomfort. It's clarity, real clarity, not the kind you get from journaling one time and calling it done, the kind that starts to shift how you show up, the kind that says, you know what, I see a pattern. I understand where it came from, and I am ready to choose something different. You can't get there if you won't look. Now, I'm going to share a personal story with you. For years after I got divorced, I had this mentality that's like, you know what? I'm here for a good time. I'm just going to date. But as I got older, when I say I'm just going to date, but honestly, not really taking anybody seriously, because I was like, you know what? I'm going to have me a bench of men and I'm just going to call in that bench whenever I feel like it. But when my mom passed away, I realized I had no one there to support me. And so I thought, okay, you know what? Maybe it's time to like seriously to date. I was picking emotionally unavailable men. I'm like men who just not present. Like they needed fixing and all this other stuff. And I was like, wait, well, time out. And I realized something. Taylor Swift has a song, I think it's called Anti-Hero, and it says the line is, it's me, I'm the problem. I realized that was the problem. I needed to take a step back and take a hard look at myself and the type of men I was allowing into my space. I took about a year and a half off from dating. I got a yoni cleanse because I have a friend who always said, you know, when you're, and it's very true, and I believe this, but when you are intimate with someone, you are exchanging energy. And when you're exchanging energy, that also includes their bad energy. So I did a yoni cleanse. I took a year and a half off from dating. And I ain't gonna lie, it was rough because a sister likes to, get jiggy. But I was like, you know what? You really need to do this. So I took a year off and I didn't date. And I did the work on myself. And I really started to say, okay, here are my non negotiables in a relationship. And I'm not going to walk away from that. Here's what I need from a man. And I realized some things needed to kind of go away because I was limiting myself. He had to have a certain look, ethnicity. Like I had all these like checks, but I wasn't really looking at the character checks that I needed. So I took a step back. I paused and, I found somebody that, kind of got it going on and he does it for me. All right. Let me pause right here and do a little what I call purse check, right? What are you carrying right now that you've been calling a situation, but deep down, you know good damn well it's a pattern? Is it the relationship where you keep making yourself smaller? Is it the job you've been about to leave for 3 years? Come on now. Come on now. You know it's true. Is it the friendships where you're always giving but you're never really receiving? Is it the way you talk to yourself when you think nobody's listening? Because you know what? That's the mirror. That right there, that's the mirror. So don't move past that question too fast. Take a moment and think about it. This episode is brought to you by Self Care Shawty, a homemade body butter created by my daughter Madison and made with so much love. It's rich, nourishing, and designed to leave your skin feeling soft, moisturized, and cared for. And y'all know I love anything that reminds us to slow down and pour back into ourselves. Support this beautiful small business and shop at Self Care Shawty today. And you can find it on Etsy. All right. So here's the second truth. And this one's important because I think it's why a lot of us avoid the mirror in the first damn place. And you know what that is? We're afraid of what we're going to see. Come on now, don't fade me. You know it's true. You are afraid of what you're going to see. We're afraid that if we really look, we'll find out that we're the problem. Like I said when I was talking about dating, I was the goddamn problem. You're going to find out that you're broken, that we should have done better, that we wasted years, that people who said we were too much or not enough were right. And that's a hard truth. That's a hard pill to swallow. But you know what? There's something on the other side of that. But it also, that's not what the mirror shows you when you look with compassion instead of judgment. The mirror, when you approach it with honesty and grace, shows you a person who did the best they could with what she knew. A woman who survived, a woman who gave a lot, and honestly, maybe too much. A woman who learned to be strong because she had to, because she had to. That's what women do. And it also shows you a woman who's ready for something different. And that, my love, is not failure. That's evolution. Healing is not about shaming the woman you were. It's about making room for the woman you're becoming. We are not judging the old version of you. We are not judging the old version of you. She survived. She kept you here, but we're making room for the next version. And hear me when I say this. The next version, she knows herself. She trusts herself. She doesn't need everyone's approval to move forward. She's not available for relationships or roles that require her to disappear. But you don't meet her by running from the mirror. You meet her by standing in front of it. All right, here's the third truth. And this is where Michael's music gets really personal to me. So, Heal the World, that song is about making a better place for you and for me. And I believe the line is the entire human race. The message isn't just global, it's intimate. It starts with one person choosing differently, one person deciding that the world inside them is going to be different. Because real change doesn't start with some grandiose gesture. It doesn't start with a vision board or a new year or waiting until everything lines up. If you do that, you're going to be waiting for a long time. It starts with one honest moment, one honest decision. And the decision is to stop lying to yourself about what you actually need. The decision to stop waiting for someone else to change so you can finally be okay. The decision to look in the mirror not with criticism, not with shame, but with the kind of love you'd give to your best friend. That's it. That's where it starts. One honest decision, one small turn towards yourself, and then another, and then another. That's how the woman on the other side of survival mode gets built. Not overnight, not perfectly, but honestly. So here's your put it down practice for this week. And I want you to take this seriously. I want you to find 5 minutes, just five. You can set a timer if you want to, and stand in front of the mirror, not to fix your hair, not to check how you look, just to look at yourself. And while you're standing there, say this out loud. I see you. I'm not running from you anymore. I'm ready to know who you actually are. That's it. That's the practice. It's going to feel a little weird, but that's okay. Do it anyway. And if you journal, write down whatever comes up afterwards. Don't edit. Don't make it pretty. Just write down the truth. All right. Up next, Aria speaks. I took her to see Michael Jackson, and she had something to say.
Welcome back to How My Purse. Today we're gonna be talking about the Michael Jackson movie that I watched. The Michael Jackson movie was about 2 hours and 7 minutes, and I loved it. But the only part I didn't like about it, which I would never want to be the list that Michael Jackson got whooped 1,000 times, and also that it what was it called? When his head got on fire, he had to get surgery. That was Wampers for him. Then he had to wear a wig, and then he went back on stage to celebrate. And then he blocked his dad because he was over it. But yeah, those are all my about what is it called? The Michael Jackson movie. Oh, and by the way, at the end I fell asleep. Go see the movie. The movie's very good. Bye.
Okay, so after seeing Michael, Aria said to me, she said, "You know what I'm going to be for Halloween?" I was like, "What?" She was like, "I'm going to dress up like Michael Jackson did when he performed Billie Jean." I was like, "Okay, I like that. That's kind of clever." Uh, Thank you for spending this time with me today. You know, I'm on this mission. I am determined to build a tribe of self-care warriors. Because I believe in my heart that the minute you start putting yourself first and you show yourself some self-care and self-love, your whole life will do a 180. Before you go, let's recap what we talked about today because I want it to stick, and I'm hoping that you walk away with some action items as well as the ability to go deeper within yourself. So the key takeaway number one, you cannot change what you refuse to look at. Knowing something is broken and actually facing it is two very different things. The mirror is waiting and it's not going anywhere. So show up for yourself and look in the mirror. Key takeaway number two, the mirror doesn't shame you. When you approach your own reflection with honesty and grace and not judgment, this is no judgment. What you find is a woman who survived, a woman who gave a lot, a woman who showed up, a woman who is absolutely ready for something different. Key takeaway number three, real change starts with one honest decision. Like I said, not some grand gesture, not a perfect plan, one turn towards yourself and then another. And that's how she gets built. The version of you who's done living in survival mode. And your put it down practice for the week. Remember, 5 minutes in front of a mirror, look at yourself and say it out loud. I see you. I'm not running from you anymore. Then write down whatever comes up. Don't clean it up, just write the truth. Now, if this episode met you somewhere real today, I need you to do two things right now. First, subscribe to Hold My Purse and turn on your notifications. I don't want you missing a single conversation. Second, send this episode to a woman who's been so focused on fixing everything around her that she forgot to look at herself. You know who she is. She needs this. Be a friend and send it. And screenshot this episode, tag me on Instagram at Hold My Purse with Ro, and tell me what's the one thing you're finally willing to see in yourself. Drop it in the comments and let's hold this mirror together. Michael Jackson, gifted, complicated, layered. He left us songs that still ask us to do the real work, the inside work, the mirror work. And that's the work we're doing here every other week. And I'm not going to lie, sometimes work gets in the way and I fall off the wagon. So if you set those notifications, you definitely will know when there's an episode. But I looked in the mirror and I said to myself, you know what, Rhonda, you on some bullshit. You need to deliver these episodes every 2 weeks. So I'm making a commitment as I looked in the mirror, and I'm chuckling because sometimes I be on the struggle bus, but I am going to deliver every 2 weeks. Before you go, I want to leave you with this. Say it with me out loud if you can, because I think it always helps. I am not afraid of what I'll find out when I look at myself. I approach my own reflection with honesty and grace. I am allowed to see myself clearly and still love what I see. The change I've been waiting for starts with me, and I'm ready. Until next time, my fabulous friends, my self-care warriors, be gentle with yourself. Put down what's heavy. Stay aligned, stay unbothered, and hold your own damn purse. Peace.